I am delighted to welcome everyone today, whether you are at home or here in the Hoboken Public Library. I will begin, as always, with a major thank you to the Hoboken Library for allowing us to have these fabulous hybrid art classes. It has been challenging, to say the least, in the time of COVID, to be able to continue our creative process. And the library has been so very kind and generous to allow us to keep going. All right, we are in the month of November. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And it is our practice to celebrate either a National History Month or a particular theme that I have introduced for the month. This month of November is, in the United States, National Native American History Month. We will be looking at the artwork of a Native American artist named Wendy Red Star. One of my favorite people. She is relatively new to fame and fortune, but she's been practicing her art for quite a while. So I'm going to, first of all, open up some of her pictures. Bear with me a moment. It's kind of a hectic morning this morning for me. So forgive me if I'm a little slower than usual. Oh, okay, we've got this new thing on my computer. Let's see if we can open. No. Okay. Oh, it's opened everything up. Let's see if we can. Good, this is good, actually. Oh, so can just anyone at home tell me if you can see the image on the screen? Vanessa, can you see this picture?
I can see it, Liz.
Awesome. I don't know how to get rid of this toolbar. Let me see if I can move it out of the way. All right, I'm gonna shrink it down a little bit because it's pixelated and blurry. And I'm gonna leave this image up while I talk briefly about Wendy Red Star's life and accomplishments. They're pretty impressive. So Wendy Red Star was born in 1981. She is an Absoluca contemporary multimedia artist, and she was born in Billings, Montana. She has a very humorous, satirical approach to her work. She likes to combine Native American images from traditional media, but she confronts what she thinks is a very romanticized vision of Native American people by combining these traditional images with more contemporary commercial images of the way we see Native American people. So they're sometimes very funny, they're called brash and frequently surreal. So Absoluca is also known as Crow. So she is from the Crow tribal group. She is of mixed race genealogy. She is also of Irish descent, and she was raised in Pryor, Montana on the Crow reservation, which a quote from her, is a rural community that's also a sovereign nation and a cultural powerhouse. At 18, she left the reservation to attend Montana State University, Bozeman, and there she stayed until 2004, where she studied art and Native American studies. It was difficult for her growing up biracial. She was often made fun of by Native American students for being too white and vice versa. The white children made fun of her for being too Indian. So for her to identify with either group or to create her own identity was a challenge for her as a young child. Later on, at the age of 26, she said that she was completely comfortable with who she was. And after she had her own daughter, it enabled her to realize and accept completely who she was. And at this point, she was able to incorporate both sides of her cultural identity into her work. And she also started reflecting the struggles that she had while growing up in her work as well. Jane, you have something to comment on.
I'm just wondering, so was she a mixed ancestry?
Yes, she had one parent who was Irish and another who was Crow. So she was mixed race. Yes. Her mother was Crow, and she was a public health nurse. And this is interesting. So Red Star never learned the Crow language, but she had an adopted Korean sister who learned Crow. And so her home life was very rich, but very complicated, and it's sometimes confusing for her. Her father was Irish, and he was a rancher and a licensed pilot. He also played in an Indian rock band called the Maniacs. So her life must have been very cool. But when she got to school, things became confusing for her. When she was an undergraduate and also at the graduate level, she specialized in sculpture, but her work also included photography and fiber arts and fashion design. She did beadwork, performance art, and painting. In 2004, she gained her Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from Montana State University, Bozeman. Then she went to UC Los Angeles, and she earned a Master of Fine Arts degree in 2006. She works in a variety of media. Her fiber work blends traditional and contemporary elements. And her photographs also combine these stereotypical images with real, what she calls real, authentic traditional images. And you can really see that in the picture that I have on the screen at the moment. So this is one of her many photographs. So the woman is definitely dressed in traditional, I don't know if it's Crow tribal dress, but she's definitely in Native American dress, but she's situated in what appears to me a very European setting. And it looks like it's completely staged. The window dressing behind her, there's no window. So this could be a performance piece photograph. All right. Her early work employed gender-focused political self-imagery to draw attention to the marginalization of Native Americans. And as critic Norman Denizen observed, Wendy Red Star Crow, Indian cultural activist and performance artist, offers an alternative view focusing on performances and artworks that contest the images of the vanishing dark-skinned Indian. Her work has been collected by multiple institutions, including the National Museum of the American Indian, the Minneapolis Institute of Arts, et cetera, and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. She's a political activist. She's advocated for improved conditions for Native women in the art world. She's also a curator. She characterizes her work as research-based. I love this, especially as she investigates and explores cliched Hollywood images like beautiful maidens or Western landscapes. Yes,
You mentioned performance art.
yes.
Do you have a sense of that she's done? Because there's been some, they really touched my attention. Things like the, standing in the waters of the tide, other, really notable.
Right, that woman is also a performance artist, yes. Well, she does things like pose with blow-up deers. She likes to cut out coyotes and hold them and hang them up behind her. So I'm not exactly sure the full nature of her performance art, but it's often this kind of staging for photographs that is part of her performance practice. So that's a good question. Those of you who love researching, you could look up more about Wendy Red Star's performance work. She's now started working collaboratively with her daughter, and she often takes photographs of herself and her daughter Beatrice in colorful Crow clothes to showcase Crow people's everyday fashion. Figures are prominent in her work. And let's start looking more at her images. Is there anyone at home or here who wants to add more information or thoughts or ideas?
I love the balance of color in this photograph.
Could you talk a little bit more about that, Vanessa, before I change the image?
Yeah, I like the that gold pillow on the ground. It picks up all that little yellow in the back in the rug on the floor, and then her dress, and then
I
also
agree.
behind her that whole curtain.
Agreed. So she really, you can tell she has the eye of an artist because she's definitely using compositional techniques to take the viewer through the entire work. I love what looks like a cell phone here, right? On the bottom of this little coffee table or end table, whatever this table is. The introduction of a little bit of modern tech in this image goes along with her philosophy of work, doesn't it? I did not. The furniture is definitely old. Yeah, I talked about how this is a European connection, but the fact that the furniture is antique kind of could be a throwback to colonial times when Native American people were being violently oppressed. They're still being obviously mistreated today, but hopefully not as violently as they were during westward expansion. But maybe that's part of the commentary of this piece. She's talking about westward Victorian expansion. All right, let's look at a few more pictures and then we're going to go to work on our own stuff today. Okay, here we go. No, this is not what we. Sorry to those of you who are here. There's a new aspect to my desktop You know how you get upgraded and you don't want to be upgraded?
Yeah.
That's happened to me. That's the one we just looked at. Let's try this one. Yeah. Oops, I seem to have lost my Zoom screen. Hold on, everybody. Here it is. No, yeah, I need your help, Laura. Sorry. I don't know where my camera. This is it? No. No, that's the Google.
Minimize it.
I did that.
Or I get rid of that.
Close it.
There you are.
Ah,
Lighting.
sorry, folks.
There you
Here we go. Everybody at home able to see the image?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is one of Wendy Red Star's installations. And it may include her daughter. It's difficult to see in this photograph if this is a real person.
A little bit like a cutout.
It looks like a doll to me. It looks like kind of an action figure that she's dressed up as a Native American person.
See, it's a real person.
You think it's a real person?
Yeah.
I love that we can't really determine what this is.
From the photo, I tried one.
I actually think it is her daughter, and the photograph is not good. Hold on 1 minute, everyone. Many technical issues here today. All right. And then surrounding her, it's definitely collage. These are cutouts from magazines. And again, she's certainly addressing stereotypical ideas of what Native American people are perceived to be. All right, we're going to stop the share on this. Try and find something that's easier to look at. Yeah, okay, we're going to share this one. Let's see if I can. Enlarge this for everyone. So this one is a mixed media photograph and collage. I believe this one is a self-portrait. And again, it's got that satirical, humorous approach of the modern Native American woman juxtaposed against the natural setting where we always assume Native American people understand nature better than the rest of us and honor nature more than the rest of us.
I think there is spirituality, actually.
Yes, although I think she's actually making fun of this connection to the earth that it's assumed Native American people have.
That last image is that the newer.
Oh, how wonderful is that? The Newark Museum has a great Native American collection. And I should have said this the very first class we had. The Museum of the Native American Indian in New York City is a pretty fantastic place to visit. If you get a chance to do that, everybody, you should. All right. Any comments on this picture? Let's look at one more. People here at the library are already doing their own research on her. I love it. Oh, I want to look at this one. This is one of my favorites. I think this is one of the images I sent in the email that I sent out about her work. So she frequently puts this kind of wallpaper imagery behind the girls or women in Native American dress. Again, poking fun at the connection to Mother Earth that Native American people are presumed to have. She's not saying that Native American don't have a deep connection to nature, but she's troubled by the fact that it's always assumed they do.
Don't they have a nature religion?
I didn't hear you, Donna. Could you repeat?
They have a nature religion.
But what do you mean by they? So we can't think of Native American people as a monolith and that all Native American people believe in the same way. I mean, I'm sure there are some Native American people who still believe the spiritual practices of their, for people, and there's still Native American people who practice the traditional religions. But I think what Wendy Red Star is saying is not all Native American people have this same connection.
So you're saying this is a negative?
It's not a negative image, no. I think that she's quite proud of everything Native American. She's just saying that there are Native American people who are unique and individuals. And so we can't assume that all Native American people think or believe in the same way. That's what she's trying to say in her artwork. Jane.
So I appreciate you bringing that up. I think what's interesting, what I'm feeling and seeing is that having been raised with the one eye east, one eye west here in the United States, and the other eye, let's say, in the earth, and she's planted, she's kind of bringing both of those sides of her onto the picture.
Perhaps that's a nice idea. Maybe she's trying to bridge this difference between traditional Native Americans and more modern thinking Native Americans. Maybe that is part of the intent of her work. But from what I've read about Wendy Red Star, she's trying to help non-Native American people understand that each Native American woman is unique and different and sees the world through her own ideas and her own eyes and through her own feelings. And that we can't assume that she's going to be exactly like her mother or her grandmother or her aunt or her sister. Just like you can't, I'm of Eastern European origin. I don't think the same way other Eastern European women think. Does that help clarify? Elizabeth.
So is she like saying, don't put me in a box?
Exactly. So she has spent her whole life being stereotyped either as Irish or as Native American. And she's trying to overcome those restrictions and those labels that she's faced throughout her life. That's what I believe about her work. Yes, Laura.
Too much that she has something personal?
Absolutely not.
So I agree
We
with
would be
you.
thrilled.
My great friend, overall suit, was overall suit. She married my great grandfather who was Welsh. And here I sit before you. But my inclination to learn about Native Indian heritage and all that is a very interesting one. At some other point I can share. But just because you see me doesn't mean my heart isn't warm when I hear the people from my great grandmother and the trail of tears that she traveled, all that went on at the time. It's so complicated and very complex. So I can actually appreciate if someone is holding the light to say, look at, don't put me in a box, or just think outside, especially with the long history of persecution, and also the positive side.
Right.
I'm here,
Right.
So I find this artist incredibly provocative, and I think that's me personally.
And we're so lucky. Yes, we are so lucky to be able to have a visual artist who makes us think these very complex and important thoughts. So wonderful. I don't know if you could all hear what Laura was saying, but she was sharing her own personal genealogical history and that she is part Sioux, and that it's wonderful to have an artist, right? It's wonderful to have an artist who is helping us break through these stereotypical images of what we think someone should be just because of the way they look. All right.
And if I can just, what hits me
Lizzie,
Yes.
go ahead,
in this image,
please.
the girl on the left looks like she's the current girl that grew up. Her bangs are like American short, her braid she still has, but it's more American, and the scarf. And then the girl on the left seems faded out, and she's got the feather in the hair and the more traditional, so showing that she came from that
That's
background.
an interesting interpretation. I don't, they could just be two very different girls.
Because one's looking down into the past and the other one's kind of looking up into the future. That's the way it hits me.
That is a really nice observation, and that maybe is true. I wish Wendy Red Star was here so we could ask her that question.
Like everybody carries their past with them.
Absolutely. And it influences our visual art. This is the exciting thing about looking at art. It creates this ambiguity, and it forces us to think and question our belief system. And it's thrilling to me. It's one of the most thrilling things about the visual arts. And I think we're lucky to have an artist of this caliber tackling these kinds of big questions about racism and stereotyping. All right, so here's some more good news. Today, we are lucky enough, because of fellow student Jane, to have with us a brand new model. Her name is Elizabeth. And because Wendy Red Star is such a figurative artist herself, I thought Elizabeth would be perfect for us to work with today. So you have a choice today, because in the email I sent home, I told you the lesson was going to be something completely different today. But Jane met Elizabeth on Sunday or Saturday at the Hoboken Open Studio Tour. So this is just kind of a serendipitous, wonderful thing that Elizabeth has come into our lives. So you can think about your own personal history. This is choice number one for your assignment today. Think about your own heritage. Look around your workspace, for those of you who might have brought something with you to the library today that symbolizes or represents something important about your own genealogy or personal history. And you can incorporate it into either a still life or an abstraction today. Or you can take advantage of drawing Elizabeth, drawing from life. Those of you who want to do Elizabeth, we are going to start out with some blind contour for warm up. She's going to do a few 1-minute poses, and then we're going to move up to 3-minute, 5-minute, and so on. So everybody take a minute, get your paper, your pencil. If you want to work in color today, you guys are all my veteran students today. I don't have any newbies. So find the drawing material that you feel most comfortable with. And Elizabeth, you should just, because they're very fast poses, any kind of action kind of thing that you want to do would be terrific. Laura is going to set up the camera. It's going to take a minute, and then we'll begin. Thank you, everybody, for that great thought-provoking conversation. Just the opportunity to do that and get our brains in gear is really a thrill. Thank you to the public library for allowing us to do that today. I did, but I'll do it again. That's quite all right. Those of you who are here in the library, the survey is available to you. Those of you at home, you can find the library survey online on the library website and do it from there. Now, just a reminder, when you do the blind contours, you don't have to do the full figure. You can look at the clothing that Elizabeth is wearing and get involved with the texture that you see, whatever. But remember, blind contour is going to look like a bunch of scribbly mess. It's not going to look like a real figure. This is our warm-up exercise time.
So Liz, you want full body?
Yes, please.
Elizabeth's full body, I'm sorry. Should I make full body? You can move back just a little bit towards the chair.
We're almost ready to begin. Those of you at home.
Yeah, the lighting is so, but that's okay. Sometimes you bring spotlights in.
It doesn't matter, Laura, with
Okay,
the blind contours.
Okay, now is she moving or is she keeping still?
We're staying still for just a minute. I'm waiting. Donna, we're going to begin, so you got to hurry. Time is of the essence.
And the stool and the captain are
Ready? Yep. And begin, everyone. Remember, do not lift your pencil from the page. One smooth, continuous line. Don't erase. Look at Elizabeth, everyone, not at your paper.
I can't see her at home.
We're fixing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Laura, it has to be on your phone, I think.
Yeah.
Laura is coming. Should I get rid of the spotlight on my laptop? And stop, Laura, if you, Elizabeth, if you could change. Sorry, at home, there's gonna be plenty of warm up, don't worry. And begin. Laura is working on it, don't panic. Just a small technical glitch, don't worry. You guys could do blind contour of your hand while you're waiting. Look at your own hand or your foot. Don't look at the paper. One thing I know. Your eyes on Elizabeth. Stop. And you're gonna do another one, Elizabeth, please.
So weird, Liz. I don't see you there. Let's see here.
Okay, folks at home, I want you to take a piece of paper and run it up into a ball. We have feedback. Oh, good. Now we've got Elizabeth. Good. She'll do blind contour of Elizabeth. Take a deep breath, everybody. Relax your shoulders and neck. Drawing looking like a thing. Look at the paper. Watch. Did they change, Elizabeth? This is gonna, we're gonna do 2 more 1 minute. Okay? Watch me. Oh my gosh. This is for sizes. Try not to talk. Just look. I'm not. Does it look like a person? Just look at her. This one's almost done. Stop. Okay, this is going to be the last 1 minute. You don't have to do the full figure. You can if you like. Begin. Now, those of you at home, I know you had fewer chances with Elizabeth, but The 3-minute poses are good warm up too, so don't worry. You're not trying to make it look like a person. You're just looking and seeing what's in front of you. Get lost in the swirly thing on her hand. Stop on this one. So Elizabeth, now we're gonna graduate up to 3 minutes. I love the action you're getting in the poses. Keep that up. A slightly longer one. That would be great. What?
You said it was 3 minutes?
Yeah. I don't want you to torque yourself over pain. This is not no pain, no gain.
Little blind?
This is just quick poses now. So we're not doing blind contour now. We're doing, you could call it modified contour. You can look at your paper. You can do erasures, but try and start out with that loose gestural drawing like we normally do. Don't worry about her face. Don't worry about the pattern in her pants now. Try and capture this beautiful gesture. Start looking at relationships. Look at where her hand is next to her hip, where her wrist is next to her knee, where the tip of her middle finger is in relationship to the hem of her jeans. Those are the things I want you to start noticing now. Where are her elbows? That's always a good measuring device. Head lengths are her shoulders, her arms, her legs.
Hi, Liz. Would it be possible for the image at home to be a little bit closer?
Yes, we'll move Elizabeth up closer for the next pose. Thanks, Robin.
Terrific. Thank you.
We'll move you closer to the camera, Elizabeth, for the next one. Is she really tiny for you?
I'm having trouble seeing the details.
Okay, sorry.
I'll go put my glasses on. Maybe that will help. I'm sorry.
Sometimes I do better without my glasses, just saying.
I agree.
Okay, just one more minute on this pose. So don't worry about erasing this kind of quick sketch. This is still your warm-up time. This is not your time to make a mess. The figure runs off the edge of the page. Don't worry about it. Good. 10 seconds. Good. And stop on this one. And we're going to do another 3-minute gestural pose now. We're going to try and make it bigger for folks at home. If you cannot see the full figure, people at home, draw what you can see.
This is perfect, thank you.
Oh, this is perfect, okay. Do we have something soft to put under Elizabeth's elbow?
Actually, I think we.
Sweater, Elizabeth, yeah, that was good. Tell Elizabeth to put this under your elbow.
Can I put it on the floor?
Oh, no.
Was that? Maybe for the next meeting.
Remember what I said, don't torque so much that you're killing me. Okay, begin, everybody. Damn. Yeah. Look at the span of her shoulder. Really nice. Um, slant. Try and capture, if you're on this side of the post, try and capture that slant from that. This is good. This is what the shirt is. Yes, very good. Stop the negative chat in your brain about what you can't do. Just try and look. The other knee is no, there's a knee, right? And stop on this one, Elizabeth. And I'm gonna do one more 3-minute pose, okay? Say to me, you're a yoga teacher, awesome. That was awesome. Yes. I'm moving in very deliberate, slow.
Well, if I go too fast, it's gonna like hurt my muscles.
Yeah, that's smart. That's very wise. Right, 3 minutes of this one. Again, quick gesture. Everybody at home doing good? You're able to see, correct? And begin. what I did. Sorry. Should I pin? Well, I wanted to see how people at home are doing. I don't know. It's a very nice pose. Those of you who like trying hands, boy, look at the wonderful things with her hands. You want to just focus on hands today. Good. Very good details in these very quick sketches. It's 1 minute left. And stop. So almost 11 o'clock. I think. Let's move up to a 5 minute pose, please, pose a bit. We want to something interesting but comfortable. Good, you sure? Okay, let's begin, everyone. So now we're going to start longer 5-minute poses. I recommend, as always, you start with a very loose gesture, even if you do a stick figure to begin with. Because you have more time, you can come back then and add flesh and details. Try and capture the gesture. Notice the slant of her shoulders and her hips. Really nice, dramatic downward thrust of the shoulders, opposite upward thrust of her hips. Her elbow is almost, well, it's actually at her hip. So The knee is at hip height, that'll help. This hand is at hip height, and this elbow is right at her chest level. And I'm blocking the view for people at home.
Really.
Nice. You pull the head forward, which is good. So notice the foreshortening. That's good. Good. Should have said this from the beginning. You might want to work vertically on this. Turn your paper vertically. She has such a beautiful long line to her body. It's gonna be a challenge to work horizontally, but you do like challenges. So, Got this. This is a little higher. Very, very low. Um, just about to end. Stop with it. Look, I want you to stretch for a couple of minutes. Everybody take a short little stretch break. And then we're gonna do another 5-minute pose.
Is there a water fountain anywhere? Is there a water fountain anywhere?
Do we have a water fountain? Laura?
I have a water bottle. Never
Oh, okay, never mind. We don't need it. Elizabeth has a water bottle. Everybody at home, take a little stretch break, please. You've been doing some very concentrated work. Elizabeth is getting a drink, and when she's done, we will begin with another 5-minute pose. Been great so far. Thank you, Elizabeth. So 5 minutes for this one. All right, during this break, I just feel this huge need to thank the Hoboken Library again. There's very few places where you can get a life drawing class for free with such a terrific model. Plus instruction, never going to happen. Never. There's nowhere I can think of where you can do this.
Agree.
So we are all lucky campers. All right, Elizabeth, just let me know when you're ready. All right, those of you who are here in person, if the view of the model isn't working for you, I recommend you get up and move. Or you can look on screen. And we are about to begin, which means you should stop talking, guys. Time to focus. And a 5-minute pose, begin. Start with those loose, free lines. Try and capture the proportions and the gesture. How many head lengths? Elizabeth, I'm not going to touch this one. Measure. How many head lengths? In the shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Half head lengths to the tip of her finger. From the shoulder to the arm. Many head lengths from the hip. 1, 2, 3, probably 4 head lengths from the hip to the tip of the boot. Arms and legs are long. We tend to cheat ourselves on the length of the arms and legs. I don't know why our brain does that. Trust your eyes, not your brain when you draw. Science is breaking the visual part of the brain, not the word part, visual. Folks, on this side, there's some really nice negative triangles here. This one you can work horizontally or vertically, either way. I would not start with the features of the fish. Capture the whole figure first. Come back and do the features after. That's up to you. You're the artist. halfway home on this pose. Seconds. Okay, stop on this one. And we're gonna now go for so now we're getting into the really serious work. Start, as always, with the menstrual pose, but you're gonna have 10 full minutes. Which gives you a chance to go back and do details, do shading, if you want to create form. What is this? Great. Elizabeth is getting set up. All right, 10-minute, guys. This is 10 minutes. Have fun. Everyone at home, this is a 10-minute pose. You doing good? I'm not seeing anything in the chat. That's new anyway. Oh, Stephanie was here today. Long time no see. Welcome back, Stephanie, if you're still with us. lines loose and easy in the beginning. Forget about realism, start with, work out those proportions. A lot of orchard. You don't see much of her right leg. It is up. Draw it. Yeah, make that look big. I like it. It's starting back. But- Mhm. Yeah. He was worried. Trying to sketch up the gesture. Mhm. Yes. I'm not gonna touch, just want to show it the negative space. Susan, Susan. See this shape? You can draw that. We're gonna get the edges of her arm and leg. Like this, the thrust of her back. Again, good. For me. For me, sitting down, you may be seeing it. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, no, it's a great way to do it. So we're more than halfway done with what you're doing. A little less than 4 minutes. Anybody at home need my help, or you're good? Scream, yell. A little less than 3 minutes left. Those of you who are detail people, if you haven't started doing the details yet, now is the time to begin. Yeah, this is. Until 2 minutes now, we're almost done with this book. Yeah, well, it's the gaze. Yeah. The gaze straight forward. Up. Like a triangle. That. Sort of way where it curves back. The lines of the neck. Not this way. Straight. One back. One back. Like that. Not forward. Back. Almost good. And stop. Okay, that was beautiful. Okay. 11:25. We need to take a vote on sharing. So Elizabeth, we may either do a 10 or a 15-minute pause. If people want to share though, I have to figure that out first. Let me go to gallery view. How we doing, folks at home? Get a thumbs up. How many folks want to share? If you, okay, I got one no for sharing. Would you rather continue drawing or do you want to share? I kind of vote today because we have a new model. I think we should keep drawing.
Agreed.
I think we should take advantage of Elizabeth while we can.
Same.
All right, what about folks here? Share or? I would like Daniel to be able to share. Daniel, if you're willing.
Sure.
Daniel's going to do a quick share now while Elizabeth is getting ready. So Daniel, you have to go in front of the camera over there. Daniel brought in this beautiful canvas that he's working on. That's good.
Cherry blossoms.
Gorgeous.
Cherry blossoms, aren't the colors great?
Beautiful.
Daniel, the character of the girl, does she have a name?
No, not exactly. It's just something that I just wanted to do.
Okay. And did you make her up yourself or was she inspired?
I made myself.
Cool. Don't you love the dark and light treatment that Daniel did? Like the highlights on the railings on the bridge and on the sides of the trees.
Yeah.
And then the outlining that he did, really beautiful.
And the water has movement too.
Yes.
And I love the tree trunks.
Yeah, everyone's saying here that Daniel needs to create a story about this character. I suggested that Daniel maybe add a few more bright white highlights, maybe in the water or in the cherry blossoms, so that we really get drawn in to the face of the character, but he's going to think about that.
Can I offer to hold it to, it's really interesting, the difference between the image that I'm looking at here and then the image when there's on the screen, like the colors change and the.
Yes, well, that you're seeing the true color, so
Right.
you're lucky.
I like to hold it for you.
Well,
White. I would like to see it, but it looks really bright on the screen. See how different it is? It looks so bright.
Yeah.
okay, if we do it very quickly now, though, because I want to be able to use Elizabeth for the full class time.
The bridge really does fly over the water though. Go ahead, and you can raise this up.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, it's interesting that it's got like more of a.
That happens because of the calibration of the monitor.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I like the way the.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Daniel. Bravo. Oh, and E has a question. See? No, Daniel, you did this painting at home, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It took me like three tries and a whole year to finish it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, like I said, I tried 3 times. I tried 3 times, and the first 2 times I was so I was so angry with the proportions of the canvas and everything so much that I had to reuse everything.
I would just leave it until a second one. Like
This
she's
is
already down.
actually a second version.
Second.
This is a second version because I have another similar to it that I did years ago, and I wanted to make a remake, but make it better.
Thank you, Laura. Well, thank you for sharing, Daniel, and I'm so glad you persisted with that image because it paid off.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to go for a 15-minute pose, please, Elizabeth. And I have a quick personal question. Are you wearing a t-shirt under the sweater?
It's a crop top.
Would you be comfortable removing the sweater? Will you be warm enough if you remove? Because I think the sweater is a bit of a challenge for some people
Do you want me
today.
to wear this?
N-
Or
Can you,
this
are
one?
you comfortable like that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try that. All right.
Is this pose too tight or like slowly moving?
Yeah, let's try something a little more open. Folks at home, this is going to be a 15-minute long pose. Sorry about that, E. Yeah, I know it's hard to hear if folks are far from the microphone. You can all hear me though, right? This is going to be a 15-minute pose from Elizabeth. She's just getting comfy. Perfect. Let's begin. Let's start. I, as always, recommend that you start with full figure. This is a good one to do vertically. Here's a suggestion. If you've never worked standing up, try standing up to do this drawing. I believe you get more power in your lines if you stand up. Try it. Try something new. I'm not going to talk much.
I want to.
A little bit less than 3 minutes, please, Benedict. Home artists are good. Start finishing up. Finishing up details. Last we could do 10 minutes, get yourself some water, and we'll finish up with the 10-minute pose. Thank you so much. So folks at home, Elizabeth is drinking some water, and then we're going to finish up with a 10-minute pose. We're lucky today, there's no air conditioning in here. Yeah. Usually, Elizabeth, it's freezing in here, so. Nobody wanted to share. Did anybody change your mind? Of course, sharing is always an option.
Hi, Liz. I'll share if you like.
Sure, Robin, show us what you got.
This is the last, can you see it? My lighting isn't good.
The spotlight you.
That was the last one. I found that the drawings that we do in the beginning where we don't look at the paper are the most interesting ones to me, what happens. And then there's an effort to work with the negative space and get the proportions right and all. And this was the last one.
Well done, Robin. Your proportions are great.
Yeah, they work. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So we're going to start. This is our final pose. Oh, no, I screwed that up. Hold on, everyone. There we go. Yeah, this is a beautiful pose. Everyone at home, good, right? Look at where Elizabeth's elbows are. Exactly 10 minutes till the end of class, so this is perfect. Perfect. Headline. Wonderful long leg. One, two, three headlines spreading on. Yes, fantastic, wonderful, strong shoulder. Don't shortchange her on the shoulder. Same height. I'm like expressing over the other. That ankle is almost directly under the right knee, but not quite.
I like the work. More control. Try it sometimes. Never just go back to work. Try it and you don't like it. Morning. A little over 3 minutes left in each close.
And with the- yeah, there's the thing, this is a lot. You can call you again? Yeah. You just don't want to. Everybody, give yourselves a pat on the back. Kudos. It's always hard to start with somebody new.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, everybody at home. We did great. And next week we will have a new Native American artist. I don't remember who it is, sorry, but I will send you an email as always, letting you know in advance who it is. All right, have a great week. Art on. Practice at home and send me your JPEGs if you want further advice or information.
Thanks for a
Thanks,
great.
everyone. See you next week.
See you next week.